The recording opens with pure chaos. The image is a mess of static and tracking errors, the kind you'd see on an old, worn-out VHS tape. Through the distortion, you can make out a brightly colored cartoon bear, frozen mid-smile. The audio is just as bad, a mix of warping sound and someone breathing in a panic. A terrified voice breaks through. "It's not supposed to do that. Maya, are you seeing this? The eyes. Look at its eyes." For one single jarring frame, the cartoon bear's friendly eyes turn into two gaping black pits. The screen tears, and for a split second, the image of that bear is laid over a shot of a dark basement. A high-pitched whine cuts through the audio, and then it all just cuts to black. What you just saw is the very first clip from a collection of files, both digital and from a single high-8 cassette, that were recovered from a suburban home on July 16, 2023. It documents what happened the night before. For the four friends involved, Liam, who was holding the camera, Maya, Chloe, and Noah. It started out as a completely normal summer night. We've all had nights like this, right? Just hanging out with your closest friends in the safety of a basement, feeling like the world outside can't touch you. That feeling of safety, you learn, is a fragile thing. The footage begins about an hour before everything went wrong. The four friends, all in their early 20s, are lounging on a worn-out couch. Pizza boxes are on the coffee table. Liam, the one filming, is laughing. "All right, final vote," he says. "We've done slashers, we've done space aliens. Noah's pick. What's the nostalgic poison tonight?" Noah holds up a dusty, unlabeled VHS tape. "Oh, it's gotta be this. My holy grail. My dad taped it off the TV for me back in like 98. I found the tape in his attic last week." Chloe groans dramatically. "Not Barnaby Bear's Woodland Picnic. I thought we agreed to leave that fever dream in our childhoods. That bear always looked way too happy. It was unsettling." "Come on, it'll be funny," Maya says. "Think of all the weird, stilted animation. It's perfect late-night material." Noah just grins and pushes the tape into an old VCR. The screen flickers to life with a cheesy, upbeat theme song and colorful, hand-drawn animation. A plump, smiling bear named Barnaby waves from the screen. The show was a short-lived, low-budget cartoon from the early 90s. It was exactly as they remembered it. Innocent, simple, and just slightly off. They laughed and pointed out the awkward frames and silly plot. For the first 20 minutes, it was just a fun trip down memory lane. And then, the first glitch happened. The first crack in their reality. On the screen, Barnaby Bear is talking to a squirrel. For a single frame, his friendly round eyes flash to pure, inky black before returning to normal. It's so fast, you'd miss it if you blinked. "Whoa, did you guys see that?" Liam asks. "See what?" says Noah. "The bear's eyes. They went black for a second." "It's an old tape, Liam," Chloe says, laughing it off. "It's probably just degrading. It gives it character, makes it spooky." They move on, but Liam keeps the camera pointed at the TV, a little unsettled. A simple animation error. A flicker on a dying format. That's all it was. But it was the beginning. The signal that something was bleeding through. Soon, the glitches became harder to ignore. They got more frequent, more specific, more personal. This was no longer just a deteriorating tape. The tape was starting to interact with them. In the cartoon, a new character appears, a raccoon with a mischievous mask-like pattern on its face. Barnaby Bear's voice rings out. "Now, rascal, you give back that picnic basket." The raccoon replies, "You'll have to catch me first, Barnaby." The raccoon winks at the camera. But as it does, a low, distorted whisper snakes through the television's speakers, layered right under the normal audio, and it's unmistakable. Maya, who was scrolling on her phone, freezes. Her head snaps up. What did you just say? Nothing, Noah says. Shh, this is the best part. Rascal fills the basket with frogs. No, not you. The TV. It said my name. She looks around at her friends. Chloe seems skeptical, but Liam zooms in on the television, his hand a little unsteady. I heard something too, he says. It was like a weird whisper. You guys are just trying to spook yourselves, Chloe insists. It's late, we're tired, and we're watching a creepy old cartoon. It's called Atmosphere. But then something happened that none of them could explain away. The cartoon's background, a crudely drawn forest, flickered. For less than a second, the animation vanished, replaced by a crystal-clear image of the real woods behind Liam's house, the woods visible through the small basement window right behind the TV. And then it was gone. A wave of dead silence hits the room. Everyone saw it. Okay. No, Noah says. I saw that. That was the backyard. Turn it off, Maya pleads. Noah, turn it off right now. He scrambles to hit the power button on the VCR, and the tape ejects with a clunk. The TV screen goes black. But for 3 agonizing seconds, the sound from the cartoon continues. A faint, music box lullaby, warping and slowing down before it finally dies into static. Okay, Chloe says. I am officially freaked out. They tried to rationalize it. Signal interference, maybe? A bizarre flaw picking up a stray broadcast? But a deep, chilling unease had settled over the room. They decided to call it a night. But as they packed up, the laughter gone, Liam noticed something at the top of the basement stairs. Sitting on the top step, perfectly centered, was a small, bright red ball. It was smooth, almost plastic, and looked completely out of place. Guys, whose is that? Liam asks. They all turn. I've never seen that before in my life, Noah says. My parents don't have any toys like that. Chloe's voice is barely a whisper. Wait a minute. In the cartoon, Barnaby Bear, he had a little red ball. It looked exactly like that. The footage gets shaky here, as you can imagine. Paranoia was setting in. What would you do in this situation? Have you ever experienced a moment, a glitch, that made you question your own reality? Let me know in the comments, because this is the point where the night goes from strange to an absolute nightmare. And if you want to be sure you don't miss what's coming next, make sure you hit that subscribe button. The darkness is just getting started. This is where the world begins to break. The line between the television and their reality wasn't just blurring, it was being actively rewritten. They weren't watching the cartoon anymore. They were in it. The friends are huddled together, just staring at the red ball. Nobody wants to get any closer. Chloe nervously backs away from the stairs and glances at the dark screen of the TV. Oh my God, she chokes out. Liam whips the camera around to her. She's staring at her own reflection in the blank television screen, her face pale with horror. Chloe, what is it? My reflection. My eyes. Liam zooms in. For a horrifying moment, Chloe's reflection distorts. Her eyes stretch and turn into those same cartoonishly large black voids as Barnaby Bear's. She lets out a raw, terrified scream and stumbles backward. At that exact moment, every light in the basement cuts out, plunging them into near total darkness. The power's out! It's the whole house! Maya yells. And then, a new sound. It starts faintly, seeming to come from upstairs. It's the theme song from Barnaby Bear, but played slowly, mournfully, on a detuned piano. Each note is wrong, discordant. It's a funeral dirge for their reality. "We have to get out of here. Now," Noah says. They race up the stairs, Liam leading with the camera's light. But when Noah grabs the doorknob to the kitchen, it won't turn. It's locked. It's locked from the other side. The piano music stops. Silence. Then, a slow, deliberate creak of a floorboard from right above them. They aren't alone. The doorknob begins to jiggle, then turns slowly. The door creaks open, revealing a figure standing at the top of the stairs, cloaked in shadow. The being standing there was not human. It was tall, but its limbs were too long, its proportions all wrong, as if drawn by a child. Its head was too round, and as it stepped into the faint light from the camera, they saw its face. It was the face of Barnaby Bear, the wide, painted-on smile, the round nose, the black, vacant eyes. It was a two-dimensional nightmare brought to life. Screams echo in the small space as the friends tumble back down the stairs. The Barnaby figure takes a slow, jerky step forward, its movements unnatural and stilted. Maya trips and falls, and as Liam turns the camera to help her, the world around them begins to visibly glitch. The concrete walls of the basement ripple, their texture flickering between real concrete and a flat, cell-shaded purple. "The window! The window!" Liam screams. As they scramble towards it, Noah suddenly freezes. He stands bolt upright, his head cocked to the side. He begins to repeat a single motion, raising his hand slightly and then dropping it, over and over, a broken loop. His voice is a distorted, skipping sound. "Go, go, go, go." "Noah, what's wrong with you? Snap out of it!" Maya cries. But he's gone. His face is blank, his movements stuck in a single, terrifying cycle. The Barnaby figure continues its slow descent. Liam, Maya, and Chloe don't wait. They shatter the small window and climb frantically out into the cool night air. The footage here becomes almost impossible to follow. It's a chaotic blur of running, panicked breathing, and the dark woods behind the house. This is the last coherent segment from the camcorder. In the final clip, Liam is hiding behind a tree, looking back at the house. It's completely dark, except for one upstairs bedroom window. In that window, a pale, round shape is visible. As Liam zooms in, the image clarifies. It is the smiling, animated face of Barnaby Bear, watching them from the darkness. The camera's microphone picks up one last sound, carried on the wind. A faint, high-pitched, cartoonish giggle. The tape cuts to static. The camcorder was discovered the next morning at the edge of the woods. Of Liam, Maya, and Chloe, there was no trace. They were never seen again. The police found Noah in the basement. He was sitting on the floor, cross-legged in front of the blank television, completely unresponsive. He remains in a catatonic state to this day. The only sound he ever makes is the occasional quiet humming of a warped and broken cartoon theme song. What happened on that summer night? Was it some kind of entity trapped on the magnetic tape of a forgotten children's show that finally found a way out? Or did four friends simply stumble upon a tear in the fabric of their own world? The footage provides no answers. It only serves as a warning. Some things, once seen, can never be unseen, and some doors, once opened, can never be closed again.